and welcome to yet another edition of your weekly international current affairs program, Globe Watch from the Cameroon Radio Television with me, Charles Ebune, and we are receiving here today at the Yaoundé Conference Center exclusively the Foreign Affairs Minister of the Gambia. Your Excellency, thank you very much indeed and welcome to Globe Watch. Thank you very much, Charles. It's an honor to be here with you today. You are here in Yaoundé to attend the 50th session of the Council of Foreign Affairs Ministers of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. So far, how is the event unfolding?
Well, first and foremost, I want to congratulate the government and people of Cameroon for organizing a very successful OIC Executive Council meeting. I think special credit goes to the President of the Republic, Mr. Paul Biya, and to his Foreign Minister, Lejeune Belambela. So far, the logistical arrangements are excellent, and we're having a very successful Executive Council.
The gathering is meeting under the theme Development Intra-OIC, especially in the areas of communication and transport infrastructure. How timely is that for this 50th session?
Well, it's very timely, especially for African countries, and this coincides also with the 50th anniversary of the membership of Cameroon to the organization. And we all know the challenges that we face when it comes to communication, when it comes to transport, in Africa especially. To come to Cameroon, sometimes you have to go up to Europe and then come down. I think this is very timely. I always hope that we'll walk the talk, because sometimes we have big conferences, we have a lot of resolutions, but the implementation becomes a challenge.
The Organization of Islamic Cooperation was created in 1969 to be like the voice of the Muslim world, and it's one of the 3 major geocultural clubs in the world after the Organization of La Francophonie and the Commonwealth. What is the space of the OIC in global politics today?
Well, the OIC is playing a key role in global politics, having a neutral position in many subjects, meaning that, well, we do not have a position where we side with one party against the other. The objective is to bring people to speak to each other, to use dialogue as a form of resolving issues, because we believe that the most powerful weapon is dialogue. And we are grateful to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for hosting the summit, and for all the generous assistance given by the custodian of the 2 holy mosques and the Crown Prince.
But the organization is headquartered?
Yeah, for the headquarters. And in many instances, they will come to the rescue of the organization and make sure that we can sit and speak, and also give a very positive image of Islam, because today, unfortunately, the image is being tainted by people who are claiming to be the voice of Islam by committing a lot of atrocities that is far from Islam.
You're basically talking about terrorist organizations
exactly.
which represent themselves as the cloak of Islam. Yeah, you can cite Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, and all others.
That has really nothing to do with Islam. Islam is a religion of peace. And that's why they say that if you kill one person, it's just like you've killed humanity. So we cannot understand why people in the name of religion will slaughter, will maim people, will destroy countries. They have other agenda that trying to propagate
the organization regroups a population of nearly 2 billion citizens today. The last statistics by 2019 or 2020 indicated 1.8 billion people. When you look at Muslim communities in the world today, what do you think are basically the critical issues that an organization like the Organization of Islamic Cooperation must handle to have a greater impact, positive impact on the life of the communities?
Well, if you look at the size of the population, the quantity is big, but I think the quality is the most important thing. If you see, many of the members are resource-endowed countries, and I think we should show more solidarity more solidarity.
Well, they are called the petrol dealers of the world, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and the rest of the Gulf states, Qatar.
Yeah. We should show more solidarity, not only in terms of financial support, but in terms of technological transfer. Each country has something to offer, and I think if we pull our resources together, we can really become a force to be reckoned with. And today you see the ongoing situation in Gaza is just horrendous, and I think the organization should be in a position to take some firm resolutions to make sure that what is happening stops immediately.
I was just going to come particularly to the situation in Gaza, or if you like, the Palestinian question, which seems to me to be the soul and arm of the organization to provide a definite political solution to plus 70 years of misunderstandings, if you accept me use that expression, with the Israelis. I heard the Prime Minister of Cameroon speak of a two-state solution, just like other speakers during the opening ceremony. Is that a comfortable position for the organization, that the Israeli state lives side by side with the Palestinian state peacefully?
Of course, Israel is a state that is recognized and is a reality. Now, I think the onus is on the international community to make sure that a state of Palestine is recognized by all and sundry. It's the injustice, the ongoing injustices have to stop. You know? And I think the organization, as you put it, the essence, the creation of the organization is towards liberating Al-Quds al-Sharif. And I think we all have a duty to play to make sure that the rightful owners of the land of Palestine stay there, occupy, and have a legitimate right to exercise their rights and enjoy of their forefathers. Living, of course, side by side with Israel.
You just indicated a while ago that each country is endowed with a specific element to bring to the table to provide to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation for peace, unity, solidarity, and for human development. What does the Gambia particularly offer? What is the place of the Gambia in the organization?
Well, the Gambia today chair the organization. And the Gambia is a country that is blessed with peace and stability. And we have religious communities living harmoniously together. And in terms of peace, mediation for peace, Gambia has played a key role in many areas, because we do not have like direct interest. All our interest is to make sure that we all live in peace and harmony with stability, to make sure that the juggling discourse that we are having in this organization in the world can be transformed into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. Gambia today can offer his voice in trying to resolve many issues, because we do not have like vested interests. We are not in the game of power, playing power games. What we want to do is to make sure that people can sit together and have dialogue and resolve their problems. And if you follow the story of the Gambia during the political impasse, we've shown to the world that the size of the country does not matter. That was a country that was about to be devastated by war, at the brink of explosion because of political tension. But we've been able to resolve it through the maturity of the political leadership and the people of the Gambia.
The Gambia is quite stable in an area, in a region where there is a lot of political instability, where there is a lot of terrorism activity. You can talk of Al-Qaeda in West Africa and blah, 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 and all the rest. I just wonder how the Gambia survives to be more stable in an area where there is this tension, violence on a daily basis, in the whole of West Africa.
We promote dialogue, and people put the collective interest first before their own selfish interest. And for your information, the UN Secretary General himself said that he wants to make Gambia a success story in his agenda of sustaining peace. And just recently, with my colleague from the Republic of Korea, we were invited to share our experience with the Peace Building Commission, because they are working on the new peace architecture review that is going to be held next year. And this example of the Gambia is going to be shown as a success story, as an example to follow.
You are one of the roughly 57, if not Afghanistan was suspended, or 56 states of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation today. What concretely has the organization done in terms of investments through the most known financing instrument, the Islamic Development Bank? What are some of the projects that this organization has helped investment prosper in the Gambia for the ordinary citizens, be it in the energy sector, in the road sector, in telecommunications, or in transport?
Well,
anything to write home about?
In the Gambia, we've enjoyed tremendous support from the Islamic Development Bank, from OIC member states in terms of infrastructural development. And that is key in the agenda of the President of the Republic, President Adama Barrow. For him, infrastructure is key, is the foundation for any development. And he likes to quote Gandhi saying that, let's build a road and the roads will connect us. And in a short period of time, he has built several hundreds of kilometers of roads. And if you were fortunate to be in the Gambia during the OIC summit, you would have seen with your own eyes all the achievements
in Banjul.
In Banjul.
Okay. Yeah. In a moment, the interview will come to an end, Your Excellency. Let's talk some regional and global issues. You are the voice of Gambia to the rest of the world today. First, West Africa. 3 countries created their own association, abandoned the West African Economic Community, ECOWAS. The best solution to solve regional differences?
Well, it's a sovereign decision by sovereign states, and it must be respected. If they choose to leave the bloc, there is nothing you can do about it. But we still remain brothers and sisters, and will continue to work together in some way. Because in that region, our destinies are closely interrelated. What affects one directly affects all of us. So we cannot just say, now they are allies, and then we build walls between us and them. No, we'll find another way of cooperating with them based on respect and mutual understanding.
One of the topical issues in Africa today is the African Continental Free Trade Area, which is the largest trading bloc in the world, with 1.5 billion people expected to inject roughly $3 trillion in the African market space yearly by 2030, and to take roughly 30 million Africans out of poverty within a decade. What is the take of the Gambia on this lofty project expected to ensure the needed economic prosperity chanted by the founding fathers of what is today the African Union, the Kwame Nkrumah, the Ahmed Sekou Touré, and all the rest?
You know, the important thing in life is always you should have plans. If you don't have plans, you are planning to fail. But at least when you have plans, you have a vision. Because whatever you achieve, you will achieve tomorrow. You've started doing it today. So they have put in the foundation, and we are hopeful that if Africans work closely together, we do not need the outside wall. Of course, we need them to continue collaborate, but we will not be dependent on them. You've seen just recently with the crisis between Russia and Ukraine, not to name it, how it negatively impacted the continent, a continent with several hectares of arable lands, with a youthful population. I think that's a rude awakening for us, to rely on ourselves and to trade between ourselves. Sometimes it's easier to trade with the outside wall, with countries outside of Africa than within Africa. So I think the AFCTA, it's a lofty vision, a very great vision of the leaders, and we hope and we pray that it can be implemented, and we will live a day where there will be no barriers between Africans to trade. You see, I'm coming to Cameroon and they're asking me a visa. For me, I find that to be scandalous. Africans should be able to move from one country to another.
How many countries within Africa can travel to Gambia today without a visa?
All African countries.
So you are an African free visa area today?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you look at the cardinals of the Gambian foreign policy, how do you net that? How do you fuse them with global challenges like climate change?
Well, Gambia is part and parcel of the world. And global challenges are our challenges. I think if we've not learned any lesson from COVID, we'll never learn a lesson. More than ever before, we are a global village. What affects one, as I said earlier, affects all of us. You see, when we had the COVID, some countries saying that, well, we'll protect first our people. Sorry for my French, we don't want to be the useful idiots by helping Africans. Because they thought that Africans will die en masse, you know. Not realizing that the virus does not need a visa or a passport to travel. So we have to fight together to make sure that we contain it, leaving no one behind, as the UN will say. Climate change also, this is a phenomenon that is affecting the whole world that we need to work together. And Gambia, for your information, is one of the few countries, I think Gambia and Morocco, that are compliant when it comes to the Paris Agreement.
The next General Assembly of the United Nations starts days from now, and it will be chaired by a Cameroonian, the former Prime Minister Philemon Yang. One West African leader was at the UN a few weeks ago saying that it is a total injustice not to have Africa in the Permanent Security Council seats. Is that what Gambia equally considered as,
of course,
as a terrible injustice?
Gambia is part and parcel of Africa, and we align ourselves with the position of Africa, the CIRC declaration and the Esselweni consensus. And wherever we go to the UN, in the speech of the president, that is being reiterated. You know, the organization should be an organization that is fit for purpose for the 21st century. Yeah. And we, by the way, we congratulate Cameroon in the person of former Prime Minister Philemon Yang for being the next PGA, President of the General Assembly.
Finally, Your Excellency, the Gambia is considered as one of the smallest countries in Africa in terms of population found in West Africa. When you look at your country today and what is happening in West Africa, what is happening in Africa, and what is happening in the rest of the world, how do you intend to behave in the years to come? A rogue state is reserved global power or an attacker?
You see, I don't believe even in small states, in the notion of small states. You make yourself small or big, depending on your attitude, on your principles. You know, Gambia, I see Gambia, a Gambia that will rely on itself, see Gambians who will see themselves through their own eyes to make sure that we develop our countries, to make sure that we take the driver's seat and not listen to the mermaids from outside dictating our agenda, but a Gambia where leaders will have the vision to develop the country, not listening or waiting for others to give us the stamp to move ahead. A Gambia that will believe in itself, Gambians who will see themselves, as I said, through their own eyes. You see, I was in Korea just recently, and people were fascinated by the Han River-like development. I say it's possible. There is no miracle in it. It's just to believe in yourself. Korea is a society that is highly developed technologically, but culture occupies a pride of place in their development process. But as long as we think that we will develop by following the example of others or listening to others, you know, when you follow, you are always behind. So we have to take the lead.
And with that, we conclude the interview. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Gambia, thank you very much indeed for being guest on our program here at the Conference Center on the sidelines of the 50th Council of Foreign Affairs Ministers of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Shukran.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup, Charles, et bonne continuation.
Mais à vous, Monsieur le Ministre. Dans cette, ou bien dans ce contexte des mutations de politique ou bien de discorde ou bien de dissonance, il y a ce qu'on appelle l'accord de libre-échange continental où les efforts doivent se fédérer. Mais ce que nous observons, si on prend la création des États du Sahel, c'est chacun qui veut prendre sa route. Comment on peut développer le commerce intra-africain dans ce contexte? Quelle est la position du Mali sur ce sujet?
Moi je ne vois pas de contradiction entre la création de la zone de libre-échange continentale et la création d'un espace économique, monétaire ou commercial unifié des États du Sahel où nous comptons renforcer nos liens entre nous. Mais cela ne remet pas en cause l'engagement à réaliser un marché beaucoup plus large. Je pense qu'en Europe, vous avez des modèles au sein de l'Union européenne où 2 ou 3 pays se mettent ensemble pour aller plus vite sur un certain nombre de questions. Donc je pense qu'on doit pouvoir laisser la possibilité aux pays de choisir des chemins qui peuvent leur paraître plus appropriés et plus renforcés. Donc nous, quand on a fait ces choix, je pense que nous restons malgré tout attachés à l'intégration africaine qui est une question clé. Dans toutes les constitutions du Mali, on a mis de façon constante, y compris la constitution actuelle, que le Mali est prêt à céder tout ou partie de sa souveraineté pour réaliser l'unité africaine. Est-ce qu'on peut prendre une seule organisation et dire que c'est cette organisation qui est l'incarnation de cette démarche? Non, pas nécessairement.
L'avant-dernière question, Excellence, dans ce contexte, donc, il y a les questions liées au développement du continent, mais il y a aussi les défis, la question des changements climatiques. Votre pays étant dans la zone sahélienne du continent, quelles sont vos réflexions vis-à-vis des changements climatiques qui est présenté aujourd'hui comme l'une des grandes menaces planétaires?
Bon, ce n'est pas la seule menace. C'est vrai que c'est une menace extrêmement importante, les changements climatiques pour notre pays aujourd'hui qui fait face d'ailleurs à des vagues d'inondations qui ont causé des pertes en vies humaines importantes, notamment au niveau du Mali et du Niger dans le cadre de la Confédération AES. Je pense que nous vivons ça au quotidien. Nos pays sont essentiellement des pays désertiques. Nous constatons au quotidien l'avancée du désert. Donc il y a quand même des conséquences directes sur nos pays, mais il faut aussi rappeler que nos pays, comme l'ensemble des pays africains, sont des pays qui génèrent peu de gaz à effet de serre, qui ne sont pas responsables de ce changement climatique. Donc les pays qui sont les plus responsables aussi doivent pouvoir aussi assumer leur responsabilité de pouvoir répondre aux dégâts qui sont créés par ce changement climatique, tout en évitant, parce que aussi on empêche nos pays aussi de se développer, en disant que vous ne pouvez pas faire tel ou tel choix d'industrialisation ou de technologie parce que d'autres pays ont plus pollué que nous. Donc ça aussi, il faut avoir l'équité dans la démarche en faisant en sorte que ceux qui polluent le plus aussi puissent davantage assumer y compris les responsabilités financières par rapport à la réparation de ce dommage à notre environnement commun.
Enfin, Excellence, Monsieur le ministre des Affaires étrangères du Mali, lorsque je regarde votre pays aujourd'hui et beaucoup d'autres pays africains, le Mali en particulier, je résume tous les actes à une seule expression. Vous vous êtes engagé à un processus de déeuropéanisation de votre communauté. C'est-à-dire qu'il faut fabriquer ce qui est du Mali, ce qu'on a connu dans les empires du passé, qui faisait la fierté africaine et même mondiale. Est-ce qu'il y a une durée pour ça, pour s'assurer aux populations maliennes que dans 10 ans, tout ça c'est au revoir?
Je pense que nous ne sommes pas dans un processus pour dé-européaniser, comme vous l'avez dit. Ce que nous sommes en train de faire, nous sommes en train d'engager des processus pour nos pays, pour vivre dans la dignité, pour vivre dans des entités souveraines, pour vivre dans des pays où les États, les institutions répondent aux préoccupations majeures de nos populations, mais aussi des processus ou des choix qui respectent notre identité et notre culture et nos réalités politiques, sociales et économiques. Donc je pense que ça ne doit pas être perçu a priori contre quelqu'un. Naturellement, dans la définition de nos relations avec le monde extérieur, y compris l'Europe qui n'est pas le monde, y compris l'Europe, nous avons défini, en tout cas pour ce qui concerne le Mali, 3 principes clés pour établir des relations. 1, le respect de la souveraineté du Mali. 2, le respect des choix stratégiques et les choix de partenaires du Mali. Et 3, la prise en compte des intérêts vitaux des Maliens dans tous les choix. Si ces lignes sont observées, le Mali et même la Confédération de l'AES, nous sommes ouverts à établir des relations basées sur le respect mutuel avec tous les pays de la planète. D'ailleurs, ces principes, si on l'élargit, je pense que tous les pays prétendent à cela. Donc nous ne sommes pas contre quelqu'un, mais nous souhaitons que les relations qui étaient bâties sur des relents néocoloniaux, ou en tout cas des tentatives d'exercer une hégémonie sur nos pays pour pouvoir contrôler nos citoyens et nos ressources doivent cesser. Et que nous entrions dans des processus où on a une relation de partenariat d'égal à égal basée sur le respect mutuel et aussi un partenariat gagnant-gagnant. Donc si je dois définir la démarche dans laquelle nous sommes, c'est dans cette démarche que nous nous situons.
Et avec cette démarche, nous mettons fin à cet entretien. Monsieur le ministre malien des Affaires étrangères, Abdoulaye Diop, merci beaucoup d'avoir accepté l'invitation de la Cameroun Radio Television. Shukran.
Shukran. Merci beaucoup.
You're welcome.
Merci.